Hey, Dad.
Hey Mason, what's up?
This is Sky.
Haha.
We learned about terrorism today in world history and how it's an issue to everyone, not just America, with 9/11. Is that really true?
Well, you're right in that 9/11 was the biggest terrorist attack and most impactful to our lives. But terrorism and terrorists have many terrorist attacks that we don't even know about. They destroyed parts of Hatra, which is an ancient city in Iraq, and it doesn't even have any political meaning.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that if it doesn't mean anything?
They are trying to instill fear in the common person. But this is beyond my level of understanding. I got a friend who just moved back from there. Let me call him. Ring, 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 ring.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Vess. Long time no see.
Fact. So what's up?
The Sky.
So funny.
My kid Mason, you remember him, right?
Of course, the little one, right?
Yeah. Well, he has some questions about Hatra and terrorist attacks. I told him you were the man to talk to. Would you mind giving him a couple minutes?
I'm glad he's interested. Of course, I'll talk to him.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Mr. Butler. Did my dad tell you about my questions?
Yes, he did. Now let's hop right into the history of Hatra. Hatra was an ancient city in Upper Mesopotamia, located in modern-day Nineveh Governorate in northern Iraq. The city lies 290 kilometers, or 180 miles northwest of Baghdad, and 110 kilometers southwest of Mosul. Hatra was a strongly fortified caravan city and the capital of the small Arab kingdom of Hatra. Located between the Roman and Parthian empires, Hatra flourished in the 2nd century and was destroyed and deserted in the 3rd century.
Wow, that's pretty crazy how it was just deserted like that.
Its impressive ruins were discovered in the 19th century. Settlement in the area likely dates back to at least the Seleucid period. The city survived several invasions before being destroyed and abandoned in 241 CE. It is an important archaeological site with well-preserved ruins. Hatra was probably founded under the Seleucid kingdom around the 3rd or 2nd century BCE. It rose to prominence as the capital of Arabia, which was a small semi-autonomous state under Parthian influence. The town prospered and became an important religious center. It was built in a circular plan of military tradition. Hatra was able to turn back many attacks, including sieges by Roman forces. About 240 CE, however, the city fell to Shapur, who reigned from 240 to 272, and was ruler of the Persian Sasanian dynasty, and was destroyed.
Hey, what's going on with Hatra nowadays?
German archaeologists systematically studied the site between 1907 and 1911. However, systematic excavations have been undertaken only since 1951 by Iraqi archaeologists. Hatra was used as the setting for the opening scene in the 1973 film The Exorcist, and since 1985 has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Hatra is the best preserved and most informative example of a Parthian city. It is encircled by inner and outer walls nearly 4 miles in circumference and supported by more than 160 towers. Although the Iraqi government supported a major restoration project in the 1990s, Saddam Hussein saw the site's Mesopotamian history as reflecting glory on himself and sought to restore the site. The site was looted of several important artifacts during that time, though it suffered no damage during the Iraq War, which was from 2003 to 2011.
I remember Saddam Hussein. He caused lots of problems during his reign of Iraq. Is there anything else that happened?
Yes, although all that we just talked about is really cool, more important than any of that stuff is what just happened in 2015. In April 2015, videos emerged that showed members of ISIS smashing statues and decorations around the site. It was also reported that parts of the site had been bulldozed. ISIS has destroyed the ancient Iraqi fortress city of Hatra. Kurdish and Iraqi officials said just 2 days after bulldozing the ruins of Nimrud, and weeks after smashing artifacts in the Mosul Museum, that militants from the Islamic State group known as ISIS had begun looting and destroying the site with shovels. Islamic State group jihadists bulldozed the ruins of Nimrud using heavy military vehicles. In addition to Hatra, ISIS also destroyed Nimrud. In an interview, Kurdistan Democratic Party official Zahid Mamzini said that the city of Hatra is massive and many artifacts of that era were protected inside the site. ISIS has already taken away all the ancient currencies from the city that are in gold and silver. There used to be statues and walls, as well as a castle that Islamic State has destroyed completely. What the terrorist organization is doing by destroying monuments and the territory it controls in Iraq, Syria, and Libya is a major crime against the entire world. What they are doing is a war crime that history will never forget. Cooperate and eradicate them and save our Arabic and Islamic nations from their evils. Hatra has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. A spokeswoman for the militias stated that ISIS had destroyed the sculptures and engraved images of the site, but its walls and towers were still standing through contained holes and scratches received from ISIS bullets. PMF units also stated that the group had mined the site's eastern gates, thus temporarily preventing any assessment of damage by archaeologists. Obviously, those mines were discharged, and the damage was able to be assessed.
But why did they destroy such a beautiful city?
ISIS destroyed these sites because they said the site was worshipped instead of God.
What does that mean?
This is idolatry, which they do not believe in.
What's idolatry mean?
The precise definition of idolatry is an extreme admiration, love, or reverence for something or someone, or the worship of idols. ISIS didn't want people looking at the ruins of the city of Hatra and seeing it as amazing because they believe that the only thing to be looked at in awe is God. So they see Hatra as a threat to God. Therefore, they thought it best to destroy it, and they did, causing anger all around the world. Now Hatra has been protected since then from further attacks.
That's really interesting, but also sad that they can't even respect ancient ruins like that.
It's very sad.
Well, Vess, thank you so much for giving Little Mason here that information, because it is serious, and acts of terrorism happen way too much, so he needed to hear it from the best. Not only Hatra and Nimrod, but also it happens in many other places as well, including the USA. It is very important to be aware of it.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Butler.
Of course.